Hello, everybody. My name is Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. I'm joined by the living legend himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Sebastian Garcia. Seba, how are you today? Or tonight?
Oh, I'm very, very happy. Very happy. Happy to be here as always, but especially happy because we got 3 points in the bag.
Yes.
No players got suspended. We will get into it, but just happy to be here. Happy to have won another game. Um, Seeing the team looking really good.
Yes. And this is the first match this is the first post match that we do live where Argentina win a World Cup qualifier. So this is the third
Right.
match. We drew against Chile, drew against Colombia, and finally got the win. So
So
there
you
you go.
got the
Third time's the
stats.
charm.
You got the stats for the national team. You got the stats for our
Everything.
streamings. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Everything. And everyone, John, good morning. John from Malaysia. And we have Nepal as well. Uh,
Nice.
Master is all right. We remember this from yesterday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday. Hopefully it was a good
Oh,
birthday present.
it's a shame. It's a shame you can't drink. You can't drink yet, Master. But well, I had this just in case, just in case anybody else wanted. Vino Tinto, of course. That's the nickname for the Venezuela national team. Red wine.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good. I had to. I had to have some wine. You'll take me like as I'm an alcoholic. I think I drank
No, no.
3 liters of wine in my entire life. I've never been drunk in my life. But anyway, enough with the stats.
And one of those leaders was in the previous videos when Argentina won
Yeah,
the Copa America.
absolutely. Hello, Trinidad,
uh,
TNT. Yeah, nice.
Trinidad, India as well. So I'm Canada, you're Argentina, so it's worldwide. It's worldwide.
Fantastic.
Um, let's get to it. So Argentina 3-1 win. What did everybody think of the match? Your quick thoughts. Let us know in the chat. Seba, what did you think?
Oh, that was a very, back in the day they used to call it a professional win. That's what I call a professional win. I mean, you went there, you took all 3 points at during some stages. We did it on style. There were
Yeah.
some very good goals, um, but also it was important to know that the mission that we have to get to the World Cup, obviously, it's built by winning games, obviously, and getting some points, but also by paying attention to every detail. And among the many details that we had today in front of us, it's a game coming up in a few hours in Brazil where you needed to be there in full strength, and none of our players got suspended. At some times, we were managing the energy, the time, the pace of the game, the rhythm. So to me, that really counts as well, and it makes me happy to see all of those things combined, um, and thinking ahead of the game against Brazil.
Yeah, that's going to be the big one. I mean, obviously, we spoke about
Mhm.
this yesterday. We said we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We have to get the win versus versus Venezuela. Sorry, you predicted it. You put it out there. We're not. We're not going to crucify you.
No,
You
no,
said
no.
Argentina would win. I thought for the most part it was a solid performance. Maybe a few question marks very early on from a couple of the players, but I thought overall it was good. Something I enjoyed specifically in the second half, Scaloni, I loved his substitutions. Just went more attacking, give the players a chance, give some of the players some rest. Rodrigo De Paul, one of them. Uh, Di Maria, we're going to get to that in a little bit as well. But no, I thought it was good. Like you said, they went there, they did what
Yeah.
they had to do, they got the 3 points, and that was it.
Yeah. Sometimes we couldn't even get results, and tonight we did it. We did it very convincingly, and then we ticked every box that we needed to tick. I mean,
Yeah.
no suspensions. Get some playing time for many of our talent that we sometimes we're not using that much. And one of the highlights for me was how well Scaloni and his coaching staff read the game, called the substitutions, the perfect timing for them, the a variety of names, and it's good because you I think the manager also is growing in confidence. and getting into the groove at the right time, and he still needs to continue improving, continue doing what he's doing, because you know the ultimate hurdle is going to be in a year's time, pretty much a year and a bit. And it's good to see some very positive signs from him. Not just the title in the Copa America, but the team is growing, playing solidly in every game. And tonight we also saw some positives that we were not seeing in the previous World Cup qualifiers, because we scored earlier in the previous matches, but then we couldn't secure the win, and tonight we did it. So it really makes it's another factor that it's making me optimistic ahead of the future.
Yes, yes, and that was something that, yeah, it was about maybe 25, 30 minutes in. I thought to myself, wow, this is probably the first match in 6, 7 games that Argentina doesn't score early. They still scored in the first half, but they left it as late as
Yeah.
possible with
Uh-huh.
Lautaro's goal, a great pass by Lo Celso. And I'm gonna add a little bit to what you mentioned about Scaloni, because I fully agree. I thought, yes, obviously he did very well winning Copa America, but now you could tell the players are a little bit more relaxed. He seems a little bit more relaxed, because we never saw this at the Copa America. We never saw this in the qualifiers before, where he brought in, Papu Gomez, he brought in Angel Correa, Joaquin Correa, Dybala. Before it was kind of more a like for like substitution. This time around, it was more, let's see what these guys can do. And for the most part, it was at 1-0 when he did it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
1-0. He brought in both Correas, very attack minded substitutions. It paid off. Someone mentioned it was a good warm up game versus Venezuela. Maybe in theory it was, but I think it's the boost that the players needed in the qualifiers, because I think anything other than a win tonight would have been,
Mhm.
I won't say disastrous, but it would have been difficult going into the match against Brazil.
Of course, of course. I'm gonna give you some time to think. This was not rehearsed. We were not talking about this off camera. Think about your man of the match, but I want to ask the audience as well, who was the man
Yeah,
of the match for you guys. In the meantime, we're gonna give you some time also to send in the comments. But we score late in the first half, and as opposed to very early on as previous games, but not for the lack of trying and not for the lack of opportunities, because
right.
very early on the ball hit the bar. I think it was a corner. The referee didn't give it. I think Wilker Fariñas touched it just before
Yes.
the ball hit the bar. Then the ball set Di Maria one on one with the keeper, who did very well. Di Maria could have done a little better. Then Di Maria had a one on one, almost a one on one situation, 2 versus 1, when the defender unfortunately got injured when he was turning around after Messi found Di Maria with a pass. And then I don't know what Di Maria tried to do there. It was a pass with the outside of the foot, but he sent it really far away from Lautaro. But if you put all those chances together, and maybe nobody knows, maybe there were more chances in, in a in a period of 5 minutes where there was a blackout. Nobody knows
Yes.
what happened. I lost the broadcast, and nobody nobody knew what was going on. Apparently there was a outage, energy outage at the stadium. The VAR system was not working properly, so they had to go through via the fourth referee. Anyway, um, without going into all those sideline details. But if you count all the chances that we created before Lautaro scored, I think Argentina were deserving to go up. And then I
Absolutely.
wanna also ask all the viewers, everybody that's joining us, what was going through your mind when Messi suffered that nasty, horrible tackle? Because I
Oof.
can tell you, I had lost my hair before, but I think I think the process got a little bit accelerated at that time, because I was fearing for Messi's health and fitness, because that was a brutal tackle, criminal. He should This guy should get a suspension a long one, you know.
That was, you said criminal. And I there's no other way to put it. What went through my mind initially when I saw him down, I thought, okay, it was a rough challenge. He'll get up. And then on the replay, it was, oh, that was
Especially the movement in his
of
knee,
the
you know, it
leg.
went like this. But
Yeah,
we've seen, obviously, we love Messi. We've been following his career for a long, long time. You know what? This situation reminded me of that tackle from Ufalusi when he was playing
Ushpalusi,
for
Atletico
Messi was
Madrid.
playing for Barcelona, and Ufalusi just went for for Messi's ankle, and the ankle. If you see the pictures, maybe you can find. You're quick with this.
Yeah,
Maybe you
I'll
can
admit that.
Google find it because Messi is elastic. We see him play week in week out, but that was a very very nasty tackle, and you know the knee area tends to be very fragile for most of us. In that moment, I think. If the whole country was, you know, if there was a
Held its
camera,
breath.
I think yeah, it was a collective panic moment. There you go. And
Yeah,
to think that
to
he
this day.
not in that game, but the following game, I think he was ready to
He was
play.
back. He didn't
Yeah,
miss a single game.
but you see that tackle, and you're thinking, right, that's 9 month sidelined. That's
Yeah.
surgery needed. That's an ankle that got really broken. And tonight, I don't know if we have pictures of that
Yeah.
moment. I haven't
I
seen, but
I have pictures. I'm just gonna bring this up. It
yeah,
was
we're not gonna focus on the negative. But that was a
no, no,
moment,
no.
you know, that was a moment that was really really scary. Um, I felt
Here we go.
like everybody. Oh, look at that! I mean,
This and
he doesn't even have the excuse of saying, "Okay, no, I went for the ball, but Messi's too fast. He moved too fast for
no.
me," because his leg, his boot should have never been there. Should have never been there. And I think Messi was too quick to react. Um, and if his leg or his foot was firm on the ground, that would have been a horrible, horrible injury. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking everybody here, everybody watching the game.
I
You
mean,
know, I know you were sending out your prayers, your best thoughts, because at that moment, oh my God, we were lucky today. Messi's safe, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. It's.
Yeah,
I mean, going through the comments here, everyone. I mean, John writes, I almost freaked out when that happened. I felt we could have lost him for a long time. Say what you mentioned, 9 months. It could
absolutely.
have been nine
Yeah,
months.
yeah,
He's. I think it was someone in the chat, or maybe it was yourself, Seba, just mentioned. He's made out of elastic. His legs. It's. I don't understand. Thankfully, obviously,
yeah.
that
No,
was very very dangerous.
he's a freak of nature. You know, he's a freak of nature. If
I
I
mean,
receive a
that we
tackle,
already knew.
if I receive a tackle like that, I will suffer an injury in both legs and two arms. I mean, I'll be out for good. You know,
Oh
it
yeah,
was really really bad.
it's
Anyway, enough of the panic moment, the panic attack.
yes,
Um, yeah, I was reading some of the comments. People were very happy with Angel Correa, but you know he didn't play enough minutes in order for us to paint the whole picture and say. Um, yeah, he was probably man of the match because you know he scored a goal. Yeah, he was he di- he didn't need a lot of time to adapt to the game and the flow of the game, which is also a sign of him being a fantastic player.
yeah,
Um, but I, I want to continue reading what you guys think of them.
yeah. So so George writes, DePaul had no diaper today. The Correa twins both scored, and Lautaro was a good day.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, if you guys missed it, it was this kind of a joke that we mentioned in yesterday's video about DePaul and Otamendi and
Yeah.
Papu Gomez. But DePaul amends once more to Correa's excellent substitutes, and
Yeah.
Lautaro I thought was, I mean, Ritter White's Lautaro man of the match. I thought he was much, much more involved today. I don't know if it's because the
Hmm.
team was more attacking than maybe during the Copa America, but he had some chances.
Yeah.
And, you know, his chance, he easily could have missed. Goalkeeper was coming out. The pressure was on him right before halftime. I thought he did well. I have I don't know if I have one man of the match, but I have one player that I thought played very, very well that no one has mentioned in the chat yet. Uh, and you might be a little bit surprised, and you might
Bring it.
disagree.
Surprise me.
Pesela,
Oh,
yes.
um,
There
yeah,
were a couple of instances, especially in the second half, where he passed through and he was in Venezuela's half and he put out some fires before Venezuela were even capable of doing anything. I felt secured for the most part. I know this is gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna read through
yeah.
the
No, no,
comments
no,
here.
no. Sometimes they
But I
they
thought he had a good
say,
match.
yeah. There's a saying. This is an old saying in Argentine football. And there's a lot of people saying that sometimes I'm gonna talk about goalkeepers, but I think it
Yeah.
applies to Petzela in this case. Um, th- there are some people who think there are goalkeepers that were born to play in a big club, right? It could be a big national team. Dibu Martinez is proven to be, and the reasoning behind it is that you're not gonna get called into action a lot of times when you're a goalkeeper or a defender when it's a team like Argentina. So these players have to be alert, be on top of the action, and sometimes they get exposed because the team is always attacking and they need to cover a lot of ground going backwards against very difficult teams that can counterattack. This could be a nightmare situation. And in a game like this, I didn't think we were under pressure a lot, but we need some
Yeah.
solid players in the back to allow freedom for the rest of the team and say, hey, okay, Lo Celso, De Paul, you want to go play up there? I handle it. I'll handle it here. I'll cover for you. So I think this concept applies to Petzela's performance tonight. Otamendi, the same. They were solid.
Yes.
They're composed. They have personality.
It's
I wouldn't call any of them man of the match for me
no, no.
because their involvement was not um,
It
that
wasn't often. It wasn't enough.
yeah that
Yeah.
continues. But yeah, good performance. I don't think any player, maybe the lowest score for me would be Di Maria. I didn't think he had a great game, especially
Yeah.
the decisive moments. I think the only moment in which he did the right play was in the build-up for the first goal. I think Di
Yeah.
Maria didn't see the goal because he was rolling around the floor because
He
he
got
got
fouled.
kicked. Yeah, he got fouled, but he managed to pass the ball between two defenders to Lo Celso, and then the two of them combined, Lo Celso and Lautaro combined perfectly for the goal. But it was Di Maria who allowed Lo Celso a bit of time and position to play the killing pass. But other than that, I think Di Maria was very poor today and very poor. And luckily for the team, we didn't feel it. We haven't felt the impact. And you can have a player playing below their natural ability,
Yeah.
and if you have a solid team around, they will cover for you. But we go again on Sunday, and Di Maria has proven that he delivers in the big stage.
It,
So
yeah.
I prefer him to start from the second as a sub, starting on the bench and have an impact as a sub. I think it's better for his current stage in his career as well. So I would like to see him revert to that role. But at the end of the day, we won. There was a very solid performance from the rest of the team, and we are on our way to Qatar. Di Maria will score on Sunday. Mark my word. I will never bet against that, Roman. I will never.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite player. Everybody knows it, but I will never bet against that. And I have a lot of time for Di Maria and his commitment to the cause. He's trying and trying and trying. He said after the Copa America, we hit our head against the wall so many times, but we kept coming, we kept going after the glory, and we finally managed. So all good with him, all good. Um, Obviously, my comments on his performances are as honest as I can make them, are as objective as I can put them, and I like the guy, so it's nothing personal here.
Yeah.
So we're getting asked by Rafael to talk a little bit about Paulo Dybala.
Yes.
We mentioned yesterday. We mentioned that we would like to see Dybala getting involved. That this was probably the perfect scenario, coming as a sub in the second half against against Venezuela. If they're trailing, it will be even better. And I like the way he combined with Messi in a couple of occasions. He didn't have a lot of time to show what he can do. He shot from the distance. He could have a bigger impact. I think one of the first plays, one of the first actions from him was a perfect through ball on the right.
Yeah.
I think it was for Correa or Molina, somebody overlapping from the right, and that was a perfectly timed pass with the perfect weight. Um, it's all good to have players of his quality getting involved. Um, I'm banking on him playing more minutes against Bolivia in the third game. Maybe on Sunday he's not gonna play from the start. We'll see how the game goes. But I was very glad to see him back in the national team. He's a player that I really like. So hopefully this is the start of a new era for him, and finally he can play a little bit more relaxed.
Yes. Yeah, he's someone that obviously we spoke about yesterday. He's going to get some chances, and this is his time. It's his season to step up. And he only got, if I'm not mistaken, 11 minutes. I believe he was substituted in the 88th or 89th minute, or 11, 12 minutes, with the team already up 3-0. But still, you could tell it was positive. It wasn't a negative impact. It was a positive impact. Tried to create something, linked up with Messi a couple of times, which is something that I think a lot of people have been dying to see. Aninta writes Dybala deserves more time. I mean, depending on how things go versus Brazil, we might end up seeing him. I still think we'll probably get a lot more of Dybala versus Bolivia than against Brazil, although you can never really tell. I thought he did well. I thought he did well, and happy that he got some minutes, because when Joaquin Correa was brought in, then Angel Correa was brought in, and then Papu Gomez, and then I thought, okay, yeah, no room for Dybala. I really didn't expect him to get substituted after Scaloni brought on pretty much everyone that he could. But very happy he did. He did well. He did well for the couple of minutes
Yeah,
that he had. So we'll
yeah.
see what happens against Brazil.
We have Brazil coming up on Sunday. Just a reminder, we're planning on doing a preview video
Yes.
for that game. So a lot of the questions that are coming about that game, maybe we will reserve it for the next video. Obviously, it's a big game. We have no problems talking about it a little bit, but we're focusing on what happened tonight. Obviously, yeah. With the results already in place, Brazil just won. I was just I have a second monitor here. Brazil won 1-0 in Chile. It was a difficult game for them, especially with a lot of players missing. They scored near the end, so it wasn't a walk in the park for them. And I don't think that is a result that necessarily hurts us at all,
No.
because we're not. I don't think we're competing against Brazil in these World Cup qualifiers. We compete against the fifth place
Everyone
team.
below us.
We
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need we don't want the fifth place
We.
team to overcome surpass us. So that's the focus where it should be. We should be, you know, become unreachable for the fifth place team, and that's it. We're in the World Cup. There's no trophy for the winner of the World Cup
No.
qualifiers,
No.
so we can let that to Brazil. Let's give Brazil the
Let
top of the
let
standings
them.
if they want. Yeah,
I
no
mean, like,
problem.
yeah, and it's true. I mean, at this point, or not at this point, it's pretty obvious Brazil's going to qualify for the World Cup, right? I think everyone knows that. And like you said, we're not competing with them or against them. It's more, I mean, the Ecuador, right? Ecuador won earlier today, 2-0 versus Paraguay, and
Yeah.
we were kind of talking in the chat. And then, when you told me it was 2-0, I thought, oh, okay, like,
Yeah,
they're
that
getting
was
closer to us.
Yeah, they won 2-0 at home. We can probably touch a little bit on the rest of the games. It wasn't easy for Ecuador either. They
No.
scored really near the end. It was even later than the Brazil goal, and then they scored a second in the counterattack. And obviously, with the altitude, tightness, and growing in confidence, Ecuador can demolish you in the last few minutes of
Yeah.
the game. So there you go. Ecuador before our game, they were even on points with us, and then we won.
Yes.
We won, and we're 3 points ahead of them, and I think 6 points below Brazil. If I'm not mistaken. We can bring up the table in a little while anyway.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that we have opened the gap against the likes of Colombia, Uruguay. I don't know if that
Yeah. Here,
finished.
I'll bring
They were
this.
1-0. Peru went ahead, and then Uruguay equalized, so that's 1-0. It's gonna be difficult for Uruguay this couple of rounds without Suarez and Cavani. That they are the heart and soul of the team, so uh, it's not easy for them to play without them. There you
Yeah,
go. So
they're
Brazil's
they're in
6 points
fifth right
ahead
now.
of us. That's what I'm saying. So we open up the gap against Paraguay. That's what we really should be looking at, the sixth place in reality,
Yes.
because in the fifth place you're still alive. You can still go to the World Cup playoffs. So we have opened an 8 point gap against Paraguay, 9 point gap against in
Chile and
respect to
Bolivia.
Chile. So it was very important for us to get the 3 points and for them not to win. If you ask me quickly, if I take this win for Brazil in Chile, I will say yeah, definitely. I think this is
Of
the most
course.
convenient. It's the most convenient result for us. Even if we have this big rivalry with Brazil, for us this is the best result, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
And
No.
Chile risking finishing up this triple round of fixtures with no points because now they have to go to Ecuador in the altitude, and that gap could really be massive. And then they have to go to Colombia, another direct rival for them. So slowly
It
but surely, getting wins like this in Venezuela, it's um
it
it's more
helps.
important. Yeah, it's more important than a lot
Yeah.
of people think.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I remember when we beat Peru 2-0 last year in the qualifiers. I mean, usually we kind of tend to struggle sometimes against Peru away from home, and we got the win. And he said, okay, because these are the points sometimes that, you know, us maybe as fans we expect the team to win. Oh, you're playing against Venezuela, we're playing against Peru, we're playing against Bolivia. You expect them to win, but sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you get an injury, you get a suspension, you get an early goal, you get a referee, whatever it is. And I mean, look, you just mentioned Brazil 1-0 versus Chile away.
Hmm.
That's not easy. We got
Hmm.
2-0 versus Peru and 3-1 versus Venezuela. So
Yeah.
the gap is opening. We're getting the points. We let some points slip away versus Chile and Colombia back in June, but we're on the right track.
Yeah,
We're
we should
definitely on the
be
right track.
we should have a few more points than we do. We actually deserve more. Um,
Yeah.
but you don't have to deserve. You have to take it. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
so
Um,
yeah, looking good, looking confident.
it's
Let's. Sorry, you want to
Yeah. No,
say?
I was just gonna say. I mean, Carl Davies brought up an excellent point. Christian Romero and Otmani, the best center back pairing in South America. Is there a better one right now? I
Well, I mean Brazil. They're very very strong. There, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos. They could have David
but
Luiz sometimes, and Diego Godin and Josema Jimenez
that's who I
have a
was
lot
gonna
of
go with.
chemistry, a lot of experience playing
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Jerry Mina, maybe not everybody's.
Davinson Sanchez.
Davinson and Jerry are very, very good. Um, but you have to give it time to Cuti
Yes.
Romero and Otamendi. They only played a couple of games together. They have already a Copa America title to their name, so respect. But
Yes.
let's give them some
Let's.
more time to develop a very nice chemistry and partnership. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're good. I'm pretty confident now. Ahead of the previous round of qualifiers before the Copa America, we were thinking, okay, we probably have world class players everywhere on the field, but in the center back position. But now, with Cuti Romero, Otamendi, we spoke yesterday a little bit about the options: Lisandro
Yeah.
Martinez, Martinez Cuarta, Petzela. um, and even players that are not yet with the national team, like Facundo Medina. So
Senesi, Palomino, yeah,
Marcos Senesi, Palomino, Juan Foyt is already on
Poit.
in the team. So yeah, looking good, looking good. Otamendi, I think he's calmed down a little bit. He used to be more of a liability. He's coming to age. He's more composed, more experienced. So I'm quite happy now with him and Romero. I think Romero makes Otamendi better, and
Yes,
they work very well together. So
yeah,
it's
they they play off each other.
mhm.
Um, let's kind of let's kind of talk about the goals a little bit.
All right. Yeah,
I saw Lo Celso's name mentioned a lot in the chat. A lot of people had him as their man of the match. He was one of my favorites today.
yeah.
He could have had 2 assists. He had an earlier chance. He played a very, very sharp ball. When I first saw it in my head, it resembled the pass he gave to Messi versus Colombia, the one where Messi got the assist versus to Lautaro. It reminded me of that. Ultimately, Lautaro wasn't able to get to it and it went out for a corner. That first goal, the through ball, Seba.
No, we have to get used to it because he's a magician when it comes to playing that invisible pass. It's invisible for everybody, but not for him. And I think I always say this, and I will repeat it until I'm even older. Um, Intelligence is the most underrated skill in football. When you have a player that is as intelligent as Lo Celso, he, you see things like this, and he can make up uh, in his lack of, he's not a flashy player that can, do a magic dribble or a dummy, or he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest. His brains, his footballing IQ, you need more players like him in the team, and that's the beauty of his partnership with the ball, with Messi. Three very, very intelligent players. Papu Gomez, when he comes in, Lautaro is very intelligent as well, because look at the movement from Lautaro before he even gets the pass, because you know whenever a pass like this takes place and it happens, it's like tango. You need two to tango. Yeah. Without Lautaro taking a step back, not falling in an offside position, and at the same time showing himself available, you don't have nobody to pass to, and then you need obviously you need to rely on the brilliance of Lo Celso, who, by the way, it's nicknamed Lo Sexo at times when he plays like that. I'm sorry to say, but Giovanni Lo Sexo, right? It's very exciting to see. I'm sorry for the pun. I couldn't help it,
It's
but
okay.
he was better than what the nickname suggests. That ball was, oh my god, that was 75% of the goal, and
Yeah,
then the finish was top drawer, top
the
drawer.
composure.
Yeah,
He had to be very, very
yeah,
composed, and
yeah.
and
He just
that's
placed it. Yeah,
yeah. There was someone in the chat that mentioned it. I'm looking at it now, or I'm trying to find it. Apologies, but someone mentioned it's good to see some assists coming from someone other than Messi.
of
I
course.
think Messi had what 4 or 5 assists at the Copa America. Um,
This is a good point. Not just the assists, but also the goals. He didn't score in the Copa America
yeah,
final. He didn't score today, and he didn't have an assist. Yeah, he was
I mean,
involved. He didn't have an assist in the first goal. He didn't have an assist in the second because it was Lautaro passing to Correa, the Internazionale Milano partnership, working together already. And then in the third one, I think it wasn't an assist because it was a rebound, right? So
yeah,
it
it was
doesn't
a
count as
Correa
an
shot.
assist. And before Angel Correa shot, who was the one who forced the
It was
rebound?
Correa. It was Correa.
Correa, Diego
Joaquin.
Correa,
Joaquin.
Joaquin
Yeah,
Correa. So there you go. Messi wasn't involved in any of the three goals, and
at all.
four goals if we count the final in the Copa America. So
Yeah. And when
there you
was the
go.
last time? I mean, when was the last time Argentina scored three and Messi scored none of them? It's
I don't know.
you know,
You are
I mean
the
versus
you are
Bolivia.
you are the expert with the stats. Um,
I'll have
but
to
yeah,
get back to you on that.
I don't even remember this the Copa America semi-final. Who was it against, and what was the score?
Colombia.
All right, Colombia,
And Leo played the pass to Lautaro.
all right. So there you go.
Messi.
He was involved in that, but
Yeah,
then in the final he wasn't involved
at
in the
all.
goal, and then so it's 4 goals with no involvement from Messi. And you know what? This is fantastic news. As
Yes.
ironic as sounds, um, this is a team
It's
that has been accused of being 100% Messi dependent. Not anymore. Not anymore. And the good thing is that Messi can rely on his team now. So it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Alvarez sums it up very, very well. He says, "What I'm impressed about is that Messi is still not 100% in rhythm, and everyone played beautifully." And
Yeah.
that was on show tonight. That was on
Yeah.
show, especially after the hit that he took in the first half. The goal, the second goal, everyone's asking about it. If I'm not mistaken, there were 31 passes.
What?
I saw a flash. It was a tweet very, very quickly
What?
that I read. I mean, during the game, so I might have to refind it. But someone said 31 passes
Wow.
led to the second goal
I
by
wasn't aware. I wasn't aware
Joaquin.
of it. I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah,
That is fantastic.
and
So how many
yeah,
were for the Cambiaso goal against Serbia? 26?
24.
24?
24, I believe. Yeah, 24.
Those that was something else anyway, yeah. Because it was
That
a
was
World Cup,
different.
and there were some beautiful, beautiful
That
movement, and the back
yeah,
heel from Crespo for the assist. Oh
yeah.
my God,
Uh,
that was great.
30.
Yeah.
See, yeah, 31 here. Um, I mean, it's. I'll have to go back and watch it. This one, honestly, it felt like a lot of passes, but it was one of those goals that did not register in my head that it was 31 passes. But very impressive, very, very impressive, and it's and okay. So this one, we're gonna get to this in a little bit. I know we're getting a lot of questions, Seba, like you mentioned. Um, we're gonna get to all of this in the next match versus Brazil. So it's not that we're ignoring the questions, but
No, no,
uh,
no. There's a lot of questions
no,
coming. We have time. We're gonna go
yeah.
through a lot of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we're gonna throw this out there. Apparently, so Marquinhos, I'm guessing, got a yellow card, so he's out for Argentina. So we'll see.
Maybe Marquinhos
Well,
didn't really want to play, right?
it's true. Maybe he didn't want to lose for a third time in a row versus Argentina. Ayman writes, Messi sets
Yeah,
the pace and provides confidence to the team, even if not scoring or assisting. And we're seeing that a lot more. Obviously,
absolutely.
Lo Celso today, De Paul sometimes takes over a match or takes
Hmm.
over long periods of the match. Uh, we're versatile. Sometimes you get Acuna, not necessarily with the crosses, but Acuna makes the runs and plays it back. Uh, and then Guido, I thought today was solid as well. So no Paredes tonight, but I thought Guido was good too. Um, and
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at one of the comments about the headphones.
oh, okay,
But yeah,
what happened?
bring it, bring it. Yeah, these are the only ones I
Where is it?
have. I'm sorry.
There you go.
We don't have a big budget,
If
this is
if they work, they're good.
and also they cover from the lack of hair, so it looks like I have a bit more
There
hair
you
than I
go.
do. It's a trick. I'm not ashamed to reveal my tricks. But,
There you go.
but thanks for pointing that out. I wanted to say something about Messi and his role and his involvement in
Yes.
recent games. Not being Argentina, not being a team that is 100% Messi dependent, is fantastic news, especially for him, especially for the burden that he's been carrying for a long, long time. He's still the leader. He will always be the leader. You see the minute the Copa America was over, how everybody went. They wanted to have
Just
a piece of him and say, "Hey, this was for you. You're the you're the best," and we had to do the best we could to make you happy. And it could sound like it's very basic what I'm saying, but it's like that. It's simple. They wanted to make Messi happy, and this is fantastic news for his involvement and his duration and the length of his career in the national team, because we need him to be the icing on the cake sometimes. And even maybe when he's getting to a point in which he's close to retiring, that's the day we never want to see. But we
we
don't
don't talk
we
about
don't
that here.
yeah. Sorry, but when that time comes, it will be important for him not to feel that burden. He needs to, be connected. Maybe he can turn the game in a couple of interventions. Walk the rest of the game, have the team work hard around him, and then he just, mark the game in style with a couple of interventions, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, that's the role that I'm envisioning for him in the future. He can be the warhorse that he's been the whole time.
Yeah, and we sorry, I'm losing my words here, but
Yeah.
we saw a lot of that tonight. We really
Mhm.
did. I mean, there were not a lot of. I'm not saying this to. I'm not saying anything to go against Messi. Absolutely not. But just to add to your point, there were not a lot of times in the second half where you thought, "Wow, Messi's really, he's taking over and he's asking for the ball much." No, no, no. It's everyone. Everyone's playing as a team, and yeah, sometimes it's going to happen where you're going to need that Messi brilliance, that pass or
Yeah.
that cross or that goal. That's fine, but
Hmm.
we're seeing less and less of that. Not because he's not good at it, but
Hmm.
because the team's not needing it anymore.
Yeah. The game against Ecuador, when we were on the verge of not not
Yeah.
qualifying for Russia, we needed him. We
Wow.
definitely depended on him, and he delivered. But that wasn't healthy in the long run. Not for
No.
him, not for anybody. That wasn't healthy. That's not the kind of structure or the kind of performance that you need. I would take this and the game against Brazil like any day of the week
Of course.
over those games in which you need Messi to to do some magic, because it's not going to
Yeah.
happen all the time.
No, no, no. It's not going to happen every time. And now you see the players, just like Graf wrote here, you see the team today, they played with confidence. They were very calm. Uh, at no point tonight did I ever think they panicked.
No,
Never at all did you
no.
see a player panicking with a cross or a clearance or a pass or a shot.
Mhm.
Nothing at all. Uh, and that's
Yeah,
something, I don't know if that's because they won the Copa America or not, but it
no,
was
of
very solid.
course. You have the appropriate comment there from Raf. Argentina playing with confidence, calmness, and mojo. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's very
Austin
important.
Powers
Never,
reference.
yeah, never, never to lose the mojo. And it's important. It's
Yeah.
important. Really important. We've been talking about this in the previous game and the previous video. That the team spirit is there and the confidence is there, and we were hoping to see a relaxed kind of performance, and I think we saw this today. And I wanted to say something about the heart of the champion, the eye of the tiger, whoever or whatever you want to call it. Have you
Yeah.
seen couple of seconds after Venezuela scored the
Hmm.
penalty? Have you seen Emiliano Martinez's face? He was
No, I
looking.
didn't.
He looked like he was this. That was the face that somebody who just went to the street to get in his car and found it completely destroyed. It's like that
He
was
wanted
his
that
face.
clean
Like
sheet.
he was like he put a criminal face. It was a and I like to see that. I mean, it's not.
Of
He
course.
wasn't overreacting. He wasn't exaggerating. He feels that way. He's a psycho. He's a psycho. I have no I have no issue saying he's a psycho keeper, like the Talking Heads song, but instead
Yeah.
of killer is keeper, psycho keeper. He he was he was devastated to concede, and there was no way Venezuela was coming back um,
No.
in tonight. Um, so that's good. Yeah, he got really angry, and I like to see that. I like to see that
You.
without being
Yeah.
disrespectful to anybody. He doesn't want to concede any goals.
No. 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 I mean, it's 3-0. The match is almost over. He's about to get his clean sheet, and then no, he concedes, and it's a penalty, and it's a penalty in my opinion that should not have been awarded. But I understand why they gave it. I suppose the home fans in Venezuela and everything. I'm against it, but I understand it. But it's good to see that, like you said, because he wants that clean sheet, and it shows that that's a winner for me.
Yeah,
That's a winner because had he just been laughing and joking around about it,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But he's a
yeah,
winner. He's a winner.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and something regarding this Argentina team, and Seba and Raf mentioned the word as well, mojo. Argentina are now undefeated in 21 matches. The record
Really?
is obviously Bielsa's Argentina with 33.
Basile, no
Sorry,
Bielsa.
Basile, not
Yeah,
Bielsa. Sorry,
Basile.
Basile. Basile back in the early 90s. But at 21, obviously still a long way to go, but 21 games unbeaten. Yes, there are some draws in there, but undefeated in 21 games. That's
And
a lot.
I'm telling you what, the Basile run, I remember it perfectly, and it was two Copa America wins. I mean, nothing. I have nothing to take away from that team, which was one of my favorite all-time Argentina national teams. The way that we were playing, with style, with gusto, with uh, attacking mentality, that was fantastic. But there were a lot of friendlies in that run. There was a
Mhm.
lot of official games, but a lot of friendlies. Not a lot of friendlies in these 21 games.
No.
There's a Copa America there, a handful of, or a lot of World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
So we're not losing the games that matter, which is a very, very, very good news. Yeah,
Yeah. And one of the reasons why we're not losing is because we have a striker that's actually scoring. And I don't know if you know this. I'm full of numbers tonight. I don't know why. Uh,
bring it, bring it, bring it. I like
Lo-
it.
Lautaro Martinez. Do you know how many goals he has for Argentina?
I do, but I wanna pretend that I'm not.
Okay. Do you know how many
It's
matches he's played?
he played 30, right?
He played 30 games.
Yeah,
He played 30 games. He has 15 goals. Five of them are Copa America goals. Three of them are World Cup qualifiers, and seven are friendlies. And the three World Cup qualifiers are, I mean, this is the first cycle.
yeah,
He's still very young.
yeah,
He's still 23.
yeah.
He's
This
he we spoke about him, and I know you're obviously a big fan of obviously Racing and everything. And you, I'm not saying I give up on him. No, I never give up on him, especially, and I know you didn't. But a couple of the videos, especially during the Copa America at the start when he was not scoring, you said he needs that rhythm. He needs that. We'll use the word for tonight. He needs that mojo. Don't lose faith in him. And look, I mean, 15 goals in 30 matches. He had a couple of goals at the Copa America, some big goals at the Copa America. Another one tonight to open the scoring. Because going into halftime away from home in a World Cup qualifier, yes, you're up a man. But going into halftime 0-0 is not the same as going into halftime as 1-0.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Not the
He
same at
gets
all.
he gets into scoring positions. That's what he does, and he doesn't need a lot of
Yes.
chances to put them away. That's not. Um, this is not something I'm making up. This is something I've seen from early on in his career because I even saw. I knew of. I first heard about him when he wasn't even playing professionally. He was in the youth teams for Racing, and he was scoring for fun, 4 goals a game. He was something else, that guy. And then
Oh.
he got better, and he got physically stronger. And I will. I didn't prepare. It's a shame, but I used to have a stat about Racing Club about how many of his goals are first touch. That is another. That,
Oh.
that is another top quality to have. He scores a lot of his goals for Inter, for Racing, for the national team as well, with his first touch. And that is the sign of a true goal
And
scorer. He's a beast. And yeah, he went through a little bit of a rough patch, but I think it was general. I think the whole team was going through difficult time, and he wasn't getting a lot of service. And on top of that, he was doing a lot of running and a lot of effort defensively, chasing everybody. So his energy and determination always consistent. That is a given. That he will always deliver that. And on top of that, he will score 1 goal every 2 games on average. Right now, for the national team, that's not bad. My gut feeling is that he's gonna get even better. He's gonna grow in confidence, and yeah, it's very good to see. It's very good to see. I
he's
I knew he wasn't going to let me down or disappoint any of us.
no, I mean, he certainly hasn't, and he's still very, very young. He's 23, and maybe for a couple of us, I'll throw myself in there, but maybe a couple of us were kind of spoiled because we had that generation of Messi and Agüero and Higuain and even Tevez kind of and Di Maria, where you thought, wow, these guys are scoring, they're scoring for fun and everything. But let's not forget Lautaro's playing a completely different role. He's the lone striker. You mentioned he does a lot of running, a lot of tracking back. Aguero was never known for that. Higuain never known for that. Maybe a little bit Tevez. So Lautaro does the running, but he also gets himself in that position. And I mean, you mentioned a lot of his goals are first touch. That's you need that. He's clinical. He's clinical, and
Yeah.
I'm very, very looking forward to see what he can do, and especially what Joaquin Correa can do
Hmm.
at Inter. His second goal tonight, it was very, very well placed.
Yeah,
It
I
was a
remember
very well placed goal.
he scored against Bolivia away, right? Joaquin.
Yeah, this the second goal, Bolivia away, yeah, the winner.
He has a sweet little foot. He can score from the distance, and the way the ball accelerated the minute he hit it, that is quite unique. And yeah, he just
Yeah,
went for it. He got introduced, and right away he was there. He was in the score sheet right away. Um, it, it's only gonna get better that combination, Joaquin and Lautaro. They're gonna train every day together. They're gonna play every week together for Inter. If they develop that chemistry up front, like we were mentioning about Cuti Romero and Otamendi in the back, they're very young. The sky's the limit for these guys. I was so
yeah.
happy to see the way he started that game, and then his involvement in the third goal as well, because the goal he scored starts with a very incisive pass from him to split the defense, and then the ball went back to him and he scored. But I'm telling you, he's a very powerful asset
He's
to have.
he's been flying under the radar. He's
Hmm.
been I'm not saying he's
Yeah, he's low
Batistuta,
profile.
no,
No.
but he's low profile. He gets you the goals. That goal he scored versus Bolivia, he easily could have missed it.
Yeah.
The pressure's on him. It wasn't necessarily an easy chance either. At altitude, and he scored it. Same thing tonight.
Yeah.
You're up 1-0, but you're up 1-0 away from home, and you never know what could happen.
Lautaro scored that day, right? Too. So Lautaro and
Yes,
Joaquin,
yeah.
yeah, they scored.
Lautaro was and funny enough, Lautaro's goal was actually probably the ugliest goal he could score. But it was his determination. It was
Yeah,
just his running and his never giving up, and the ball
yeah,
kind of bounced off him and went in.
yeah,
So there you go. We just spoke about Lautaro, and that's the perfect example of the type of goal. And Joaquin Correa, same thing.
yeah,
And then we had the Pichichi,
yeah.
Angel Correa. I
Angelito.
loved his
Um,
involvement.
can you bring Annie's comment? Good thing too, and
Yes,
Lautaro. Yeah,
there you
because
go.
this is a perfect point. This is something we spoke yesterday as well, but it's evident, and it's paying its dividends for the national team. We were talking with Roy, with Ziggy, our friend. We were talking about um, all these transfers in the summer transfer market involving a lot of the national team players, but somehow I don't know if it's down to luck. I don't know if it's the players talking to their agents and saying, "Hey, I want to go. If there is an opportunity to go here or there, I would rather be here because there is a couple of national team players there that are my teammates, are my friend. I want to play with them." So all of a sudden, you have how many players playing for Sevilla, for example? Huevo Acuña,
Yeah, five.
Montiel. So you have two fullbacks. Then you have Ocampos, not in the national team right now, but in the picture. Lamela, not in the national team, but could be called up. Papu Gomez.
Papu
So you have
Gomez.
five there. At Inter, you have Joaquin and Lautaro. Help me out in the comments because the lights. I'm under the
at Inter,
spotlight, but
yeah,
yeah,
at Inter, it's the two. Yeah,
you have Tottenham, Cuti Romero, and Gio Lo Celso.
yeah.
Bring me obviously the PSG. Thanks, George.
Let's here.
Paredes, Messi,
Let's
Di
see if I can
Maria.
bring
Mhm,
this up right now.
mhm.
Current
This is very
squad.
important
Okay,
to
here we go.
have. Last year we had De Paul and Molina
There.
playing together for Udinese with
So
Muso as well. That
so
mhm.
sorry, sorry. No, I don't mean to cut you off, Seba. Sorry about that.
No, no, no. But
Um,
this is a perfect support. Now, Molina was left alone at Udinese. Poor guy.
well,
But
no, yeah, it's true because Musso left. Yes, you're right.
Muso left. He's
Oh,
playing for
Pusetto
Atalanta.
and Pereira. Pusetto and Pereira are at Udinese, but they're not with the national team.
Right, right. But then you have Martinez Cuarta and Nico Gonzalez playing for Fiorentina. Rodrigo de Paul left the company of Nahuel Molina and Juan Musso, but now plays together with Angel Correa. These are things that, we should be
Help
paying
out.
attention to this. Yeah,
P-
Rulli and Foy.
Pesela and Guido Rodriguez. You have a center back and you have a defensive midfielder right in front of them. They play
Yeah,
for Betis.
yeah. This is really, it's not just minor detail. We have two players at
No,
Ajax. So yeah, it's Emi Martinez and Buendia
and Buendia.
playing for Aston Villa. So it's good. We have a lot of Musso together with
And
Palomino at Atalanta.
yeah,
He's not
uh,
alone.
and I mean in Paris you have the three or four
Yeah,
technically with Icardi, but
yeah.
it's true.
And even in the local scene, because you have
Yeah,
Armani, you have
Alvarez.
Alvarez, Julian Alvarez, that are potentially called up. Enzo Perez could make a comeback to the national team any day when you need him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
still a top quality. Um, and yeah, thanks to Siet for the example. Germany won the
yeah.
World Cup that way. Yeah, absolutely. The chemistry week in, week out, and Simeon Ali saying Dybala is alone. Yeah,
At
Dybala
Juventus,
is
that's
alone.
true.
He's alone. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
well, yeah, we can
but
adopt him. We can adopt him at the national.
we'll we'll take him. I think any national team would
Yeah.
be very very happy to take Dybala. But no, it's true, and a lot of them. I mean, Nicolas Gonzalez, like you mentioned him from Stuttgart. He's played
Yeah.
for Stuttgart, went to Fiorentina, and then that's when a lot of the Argentines. I mean, Joaquin Correa, him to Inter. Apparently, from the reports that were said, he only wanted Inter, despite the fact that he was linked to a couple of Premier League clubs. Apparently, he said that he wanted Inter and he wanted out of Lazio, and this helps. You look, it's a World Cup year. We're a year away, maybe 14 months away from the World Cup. If we could get these guys gelling and playing together and having that understanding, I am completely for it. And
Mhm.
there you go, Ezequiel Palacios and Lucas Alario.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
Forgot about that. We
Yeah.
forgot, and they're not. Or Palacios is, but Alario is not part of the national team because he's
Yeah.
injured.
This is a fantastic audience. Not only they're joining from everywhere in the country, they also supporting us, helping us with,
Yes,
with some names
help
that
us
we're
out.
forgetting. Yeah, we're under the spotlight. It's late. Maybe we're forgetting some
I'm
some.
sure. I'm sure we're forgetting something. I'm sure. But like you said, we have this. We have the
Yeah,
best
absolutely.
audience, best viewers, best everything.
So
Best everything.
I didn't tell anybody about my man of the match. Um,
Yes.
I was tempted to go with Lautaro purely on statistics, impact on the game, the goal and the assist, but I'm gonna go with Gio Lo Celso. I think,
Yeah.
I think he was balanced. He was everywhere. He had to be. He helped open up the game. He combined perfectly with all of our attacking players, but he also provided support to win the ball back. He's my choice for man of the match today. I really liked Acuna. He had a sober game.
Hmm.
He was fouled. I don't know how many times he was. I think Messi and him were the two players that were fouled the most, because he can protect the ball, win some time for the game, for the team, um, allow everybody else to breathe. He can go forward, open up spaces, widen the pitch for the
The
rest of the
pitch.
team. He could have had an assist. He passed the ball to Messi. Messi shot, and Wilker Fariñez had a great save there. So Acuna was a very, very good player tonight for us. But Lo Celso gets my man of the match award. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's mine as well. I know I mentioned. I mean, Pasella was not my man of the match. It was just an example I gave someone that impressed me. But I would go with Lo Celso. There's a lot that you named. There's a lot that we could have named. Obviously, Lautaro for his determination, for his goal, for his work rate. You mentioned Acuna as well. Rodrigo De Paul stepped up. I say De Paul stepped up, but he's always stepping it up. It's how he is.
Yeah,
It's
he
his
could have
form. It's how he
had.
plays.
Yeah, he could have had a goal and an assist in 20
Yeah,
minutes at the
yeah.
beginning, where he shot against the
Good
bar and
crossbar.
then his pass for Di Maria. Fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
he
Petzela
is.
and Guido playing for Real Betis. The comments keep coming. There's a lot of
Even
partnerships, and I don't think this is a coincidence. I think this
no,
is players looking for this to happen,
yeah. I absolutely think
providing.
so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
If I'm trying to think, the substitutes, honestly, I think they all impressed me.
Mhm.
Papu Gomez had a couple of touches of the ball, nothing out of the ordinary, but still. But Angel Correa for me is someone that I would love to see from the start. I know he started versus Bolivia in the Copa America, and I know it was Bolivia and everything, but he does link up well with Messi. He does have a shot. He's a very good dribbler. He's gotten better as a player. We spoke about him a lot yesterday in the video. I don't know, and I'm not going to say this, I want to start him against Brazil because we're going to talk about that in our video, but I would not be against seeing Correa start against Brazil. Let's put it that way.
That's bold. That's bold.
I,
Yeah.
he's
Um.
in the form of his life right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if we said we're not gonna talk a lot about the Brazil game, which we're not. It's not gonna. We're not gonna spend a lot of time. There's
Yeah.
a new video coming in a few hours. I don't know when. We'll
When are
we'll
we going to
sort it
record
out
this?
at some point during the weekend. But I think it's a good exercise to bring out our early prediction for starting 11. Um,
Yeah.
you and I normally agree. I won't. I wouldn't start with Correa. Not because I have anything against him.
Yeah.
It's because it's more. I see him more of an impact sub, and it could probably change the whole dynamics of the team, especially because of the opposition, right? Because it's
Right.
Brazil in Brazil, and they're bleeding from the Copa America final, so they want revenge. Um,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't make a lot of changes. I I would um, revert to the team that won the Copa America there. Try to play the same team, maybe with the exception of Di Maria starting. I would not start Di Maria. I would probably start with Nico Gonzalez, depending on how he is physically. I mean,
Yes.
um, and then Montiel in place of Molina,
Molina.
especially banking on the kind of performance that he had in the Copa America final. So the rest of the team will pick itself. Dibu Martinez, Molina, Otamendi, Romero, Acuna on the left, De Paul, Paredes, Lo Celso, Messi, Nico Gonzalez, and Lautaro
Yeah.
Martinez. I
Yeah.
think I counted up to 11. I think,
Yes. Yes, you
but
did.
that would be my choice. And then yeah, for the Bolivia game, I would ring in the changes. I will probably start with a completely different starting 11. Give the rest of the guys a lot of minutes. If Messi is ready to play and is available, I will play him. Then a couple of starters, and then the rest. To have a great day in front of the people here at the Monumental Stadium at home against Bolivia. No disrespect, but we should be
Yeah.
comfortable to win that game. But against Brazil, I'm going with the same guys, as many as I have available, that won the Copa America final.
Yeah. I would too. I would too. I mentioned Angel Correa just kind of as an example, not specifically against Brazil, maybe more so against Bolivia, but you are right in the sense of Brazil are out for blood. They want that revenge. They don't want to lose a second time versus Argentina at home. I mean, losing a Copa America final and then losing a World Cup qualifier, obviously they don't want that. I would go with the same 11. I would be because Montiel hasn't really played. He hasn't played for Sevilla. His last match was the Copa America final. So I'm a
True.
little bit worried about him, his fitness, not necessarily how he is, but just kind of like his
His
fitness.
sharpness, yeah, his sharpness,
Yeah,
match fit, yeah.
uh, because we saw it a little bit with Messi. We saw it tonight. We saw it with PSG. Thing is, Molina did not impress me much tonight, to be honest. I thought he was a little bit more in the first half than the second, but I would still go with Montiel, although that might be a little bit risky because he hasn't played in almost 2 months. I would go with Montiel, and I would go with Nicolas Gonzalez up front rather than Di Maria. But, and this is the situation with Di Maria that we've spoken about a bunch of times. You never know which version of Di Maria you're going to get.
Yeah.
And
And this
you could kind
time,
of tell right away.
Renan Lodi is not going to be involved. So Di
Yeah.
Maria, I like about Di Maria. He had recently he gave an interview and he spoke all sorts of things about Sampaoli.
Oh, yes.
I'm telling you, he
He's not
didn't save
liking it.
anything. He didn't save anything for later. He thrashed Sampaoli. He is very honest. Sometimes maybe too much. Um, and sometimes he reveals some secrets. He says that um, I think he said that Angel Correa told him that Renan Lodi's back is always easy to attack. He revealed that secret. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm Angel Correa. I have to go train again at Atletico
That's
Madrid,
fine.
and I see Renan Lodi saying, "Hey, what did you tell Di Maria? What did you tell Di Maria
But
about me?" You know. But yeah, Renan Lodi is not gonna be there. Brazil are gonna
they're
be
out for
there
blood.
ready, as you said, out for blood, and have learned probably a couple of lessons from the Copa America final. It's not gonna be a walk in the park. We know that,
It,
um,
yeah.
but
It it
you
won't
never
be
know. It's a
easy.
big stage. Yeah, it's a big stage,
It,
and as
it
as
won't
we
be
said
easy.
previously, Di Maria has thrived in the big stage, so he might start. And chances are he starts, but if not, uh,
We'll see. I mean, Nicolas
we have
Gonzalez is playing
weapons.
very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, we have options. That's
He's,
a good thing.
he's Yeah, Gonzalez is playing very well for Fiorentina. He scored a couple of goals in Coppa Italia and then in Serie A as well, if I'm not mistaken, the first
Hmm.
match.
Hmm.
It's again with Di Maria, you don't know which one you're gonna get. If we get the one that started the Copa America, I would start him. If we get the one that started tonight, I would probably use him as a substitute. I would probably use him as a substitute.
Yeah.
Raf mentioned Paredes. He might lack match fitness. He played for PSG as well. Just I think he came on as a substitute, if I'm not mistaken, in their last match. I'm not too worried about Paredes. Not too much. But that's another thing as well.
Yeah,
He hasn't played in almost 2 months.
because compared to Montiel, Paredes stayed at the same club, maybe had a
Yeah,
different off season. For Montiel, it was a bit of uncertainty whether he was staying at River or joining Sevilla. It's never easy when you first go to Europe. You need to
exactly.
adapt to a lot of other things, and not just think about whether you play some minutes or not, or your match fitness.
Mhm.
Um, in any case, all we need is for him to have a bleeding ankle, and then
And
he
we're
will
good.
play. He will play the game of his life. Yeah,
And then we're
that's
good.
the all the motivation that he needs.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh yeah, we're getting a little bit too much in the Brazil match. It's
Yeah.
we have to leave some stuff safe, but we will have to leave some stuff for the next video. But no, very happy with tonight's win. It felt good. The players felt relaxed. It was nice to see that. I know it's nothing. I know it's nothing, but it was nice to see that badge right here, that Copa America Champions badge. It reminds you, not that we forgot, but it
Yeah.
reminds you that it's the
Um,
Copa America
Speaking of which, there was one comment that asked where they can find the
Yes.
Argentina shirt with the patch
Uh,
in Canada. So you're the guy to ask. Yeah.
in Canada, I don't know. I'll be honest. I got this shirt. Well, I got the shirt here from Canada. It's a store nearby where I'm from, but I bought this back in June,
Right.
and it was like the last one. They did not have anymore. My guess is we might have to wait just for Adidas to release them. Obviously, they're going to want to make some money by releasing it with a patch. So kind of I would say keep checking Adidas, or definitely if I see something, I'll tweet it out as well because I'm looking for the
Great,
patch too. I want to have
great.
the patch, so if we see it,
Yeah, great,
we'll
fantastic.
let you know.
You know, it's crazy talking about. We're talking about general things about Argentina, but
Yes.
as it stands, less than a week to go for the game against Bolivia here in Buenos Aires. Obviously, due to the pandemic, it's not a normal context. Um, but we still don't know when the tickets are going to be available, how much they're going to cost, what are the requisites for you to to be able to qualify
Yeah.
to attend. Thankfully, I have the two doses of the vaccine. I encourage everybody listening here to get the vaccine. Try to do your bit, protect yourselves and those around you. This is a very important thing to do. I am fully vaccinated and I should be available to qualify for a ticket, but the allocation is very small. It's only 30% of the capacity that's going to be allowed into the stadium. So we we don't know. It's less than a week, and we don't know when the tickets are going to be made available. So I'm hoping I can go, hoping I can be there to represent the Mundo community as well. But I
Right.
still don't know. I hope I can make it.
Ho- hopefully, we have a nice little comment by George.
Why not both? I mean,
Both. There you
you
go.
you should wait a few hours after you get your vaccine, but then after that, everything is allowed.
Yes. There was a question about what store I got this from in Montreal. It's a
Mhm.
store called Evangelista. So it's Italian owned. It's called Evangelista. They have a couple of branches. So look them up. I don't know if they still have any, but I know when I went in June, it was I think the last one, or they had one more left. But yeah, so vino. That's all you need, Seba. I mean, you have both, so you kind of double. You're good. You're good.
Absolutely.
This is a good question. I would like to think so. I would like to think that there would be some sort of tribute to Diego, to Maradona, to Monumental.
Hmm.
First match in Argentina with fans. Or actually, first match in Argentina since his passing.
In Buenos,
So
well, there
in
was a
Buenos
match.
Aires,
Yeah, in
the,
Buenos
the, the
Aires, it
Chile
would be
one,
the
the
first.
Chile one. Sorry, but
There was
first
a
one with
game in
fans.
Santiago del Estero. It's a province in the north.
Yeah,
A very nice stadium. It's new. It's the new stadium we have. And there was a tribute there, and there was a statue of him
the
revealed.
statue is.
You should Google Santiago del
Yeah,
Estero Maradona statue or estatua, and then something will show up. Maybe Roy.
yeah.
He's
I'm doing that
typing
now.
fast. I know you. I know you.
That's I have it.
So
That's
yeah, there
bringing
was
up.
a tribute to Diego in Santiago, Santiago del Estero. Um, and yeah, they should definitely play a tribute to him every single day. Every single day, the national team
Yeah,
plays. There
this
you go.
is.
That's the statue.
I'm
I
looking at this.
wanna
I
I wanna
suppose.
visit sometime. I wanna visit, see the stadium.
Wait, let's
That
see if we got something else.
hmm fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
there we got this one. So this was it, and then obviously we had the players here that were kind of paying tribute. They were there, but I would think at the Monumental, because there's going to be fans, there will be fans in attendance. Um, I think that one they will do some sort of tribute. I don't know what,
Yeah,
but it's
um,
gonna be good,
yeah, and for sure they're gonna be chanting Diego,
of
Diego, ole,
course,
ole, 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 Diego, Maradona.
of course.
There's gonna be emotional. It's gonna be emotional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
And
interesting.
why they change? There's another question about venues. Why they change? Basically, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good opportunity for, well, normally when fans are allowed, yeah, you go to places like Cordoba, Mendoza, Rosario, Santiago del Estero. I think it's Argentina is a very, very, very big country, but when it comes to football, it's very centralized. It's very metropolitan area, Buenos Aires, greater Buenos Aires area. At times it's over 70% of the clubs in the first division are from there, but it is also a very um, nationwide passion football. Everywhere you
Mhm.
go, everywhere the national team goes, the stadium, all the stadia is going to be packed. And Santiago del Estero, there are a couple of other reasons as well. There's a very powerful man uh, in the high um,
The hierarchy.
spheres, yeah, in the hierarchy of
Yeah.
AFA, who is from Santiago del Estero. So teams from Santiago del Estero all of a sudden are doing very well. There's one in the first division, the other one is leading the second division,
Segunda.
and there's this big, massive stadium built in the middle of Santiago del Estero. Um, but nothing against that venue. Is fantastic. It's great. It looks European even. So yeah, that's the reason why sometimes the national team goes to play in different provinces, and I think
Yeah.
it's nice. I think it's nice.
No, it is. It stayed for a while. I think they restarted doing that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Seba, but I think they restarted doing that when Sabella was there, when they
Mhm.
started playing more games in Cordoba and Mendoza, because for a
Yeah,
while everything was at the Monumental, nowhere
yeah.
else
Before that, one time that I recall wasn't a good result, but
versus
Diego
Brazil
wanted to
in
versus Brazil.
Rosario.
Diego wanted to bring the game to Rosario because that stadium in Rosario, famous from the 1978 World Cup, we needed to score, I don't know, five,
Peru.
6 goals against Peru, and the atmosphere there, where Rosario Central play their home games, that stadium so close to the ground, full of people. There's very passionate fans over there. It was a good idea, but Brazil were too good. That time they beat us 3-1, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Jesus
after that,
Chapolo, I think, scored.
yeah. And speaking of Sabella, I read that today is an anniversary of his first game in charge of the national team.
Yeah,
So
rest
always
in
in my
peace.
heart. Yeah, always in my heart. I really love that man. Um, he's I think some of the good things that we are seeing these days in the national team are credit to Sabella as well.
Damn.
Um, and to me, he was
And,
the one that had Messi play the best football ever for the national team. Under him, his numbers were amazing, and he should have
eh,
definitely won the World Cup. He should have won the World Cup. He deserved it.
yeah,
It wasn't to be, but he's always
no.
in our hearts.
I Yeah, I was there. I was there in the stadium, the match versus Brazil, the 4-3 where Messi scored 3 goals, and it was something about Messi that during that era, and especially watching him live at the stadium. I think you were there for the match versus Ecuador, the last match right before the 4-0. I believe you went in the qualifiers, but there was something about that team and something about Messi where it was different. It was different. We hadn't seen it
Mhm.
then. To be honest, I don't think we've seen it since. Yes, he won Copa America, but it's a different Messi. It's a more mature Messi, different role. But that Messi was a goal scoring machine. He scored 12 goals in 1 year for Argentina, equaling
Uh,
Batistuta's record. Uh,
yeah,
it was he Isabella deserved the
something
World Cup. He
absolutely,
deserved that World Cup.
absolutely.
But let's. I mean, I guess looking at it here, I'm not sure if we have any other questions. We'll throw one last question out there. If we had this national team with the confidence and chemistry we have now against France in 2018, what do you think the outcome would have been? I'm gonna mention this, and I'm gonna mention this only because Seba, you mentioned Di Maria's interview.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you remember the part where Di Maria spoke about Mbappe?
he said that Mbappe told him that they were a bit afraid of facing Argentina. They were
Yeah,
concerned, and Di Maria thinks that game was there for the taking. We went 2-1 up. We
yeah.
made a comeback in the game. Gabriel Mercado scored a great goal that day. Di Maria, of course, as well. And then Di Maria said it was
Agüero.
a moment of brilliance. That goal from Pavar was something else. And then the run from Mbappe. Obviously, you can win or lose against a team like France, and sometimes losing is the more logical result for many national teams in the world. But what it's revealing, it was evident back then because we knew that there were some problems there. There was a big
Of course.
crisis, but you don't get to see the full depth of what was going on. And now, with a lot of water under the bridge, some things are starting to be revealed, like Di Maria talking about Sampaoli and not putting him under a very good light. So, long story short, that team played France all the way to the wire. He could have equalized with the last kick of the game. Di Maria
Got
just
in the way of
deflected,
Fazio.
got in the way when Fazio was about to score the header to to make it 4-4, to bring the game to extra time, and to face France in extra time without Griezmann, without N'Golo
Mbappe,
Kante, without Mbappe. That would have been, and obviously with the psychological and
momentum,
the
confidence.
emotional impact of
Of
the goal. Yeah,
course.
of course, it wasn't to be. I think the national team was in crisis back then, and when you need that extra bit of energy, that extra bit of heart, when everything else is falling apart, it is a lot more difficult to bring it. Um, so yeah, we never know. We'll never know the answer to that question. Um, but I will say that I will like our chances a lot more with this kind of team spirit.
Of
Um,
course.
and I'm eager to play against France again. If it's a if it's a decisive game in a World Cup, let's bring it. I'm confident
Yeah.
now. I wasn't confident 4 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago.
No, and I mean, you look at that back line. It was the entire team, right? I mean, you had Lo Celso on the bench that did not play a
Yeah.
single second. Dybala played, I think, 4 or 5 minutes, didn't play much. Um, I don't know how, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I don't know how you could watch the first three matches for France and give Mbappe the chance, the space that he had. The organization, the midfield, everything. It was
Hmm. Hmm.
no, we're not. Uh, so yeah, you know what? We're gonna end it here. So Annie writes, "Don't talk about that. It still hurts." We're we're gonna talk. We're gonna finish this on a good note. Argentina winning 3-1. Seba, we spoke about, or you mentioned it. We will do another video. I don't know, maybe during the weekend, obviously
Yeah.
before the match, and it's an early kickoff as well. It's an afternoon kickoff versus Brazil. I think it's at 4 p.m. for you, Seba, in Buenos
Yeah, 4
Aires.
p.m. 4 p.m. local time, which is also 4 p.m. Buenos Aires. It's gonna be bad for our friends in Bangladesh, Nepal.
Yes, Malaysia,
You're
India,
gonna have to
Pakistan.
put a Monday 4 a.m. alarm or something.
Yeah,
But I'm sure you're gonna be there. I'm sure you're gonna be there for
of
the team.
course.
And
The
then
most
if you
passionate
can,
fans.
yeah, if you can watch the preview because the timing for the live version is not good enough for you, you can always watch it later. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there for you.
Yeah,
So it's midnight, past midnight in India,
yeah,
1 a.m. in Bangladesh. You're gonna be there. I know you
of
guys. I know you
course.
guys from the videos. I never been to Bangladesh. I wish I will go one day, but I'm sure 1 a.m. is the game. 3 a.m.
Yeah,
3:15 if things go well. You will see a lot of motorbikes around the streets in
just like the Copa America final.
in
Oh
the
my God.
is Dhaka is the city, right? Dhaka, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that I think that's the place on planet Earth with more Argentina fans
Then in
per
Argentina.
per square meter. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It is. There's more Argentina fans in Bangladesh than in Argentina. That's a fact. That's a fact of life.
yeah. It's
I'm not
the most
joking. Yeah.
passionate fans.
Yeah, we
The most
45
passionate
millions.
fans.
We are 45 million. Count some people that don't like football, don't support the team. They always want the team to lose. In Bangladesh, I reckon there's a lot more Argentina fans than here, and also India
Of
for sheer
course.
population, the sheer numbers of population and the love they have
Malaysia
in
as well.
places. Yeah, places like Mumbai, Kolkata, Kerala, Delhi, everywhere, everywhere. I'm sorry for pronunciation if I'm not saying it correctly, but 160 million in Bangladesh. So half of them are Argentina fans. That's it. I win the argument. I win the argument.
It's something. It's
Yeah.
wow. That is insane. That is insane. And yeah. So on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. It's as always. It's fun. It's sometimes too much fun.
Yeah.
And I say this as Seba's getting ready to continue his bottle of wine off air.
No, no, no. I'll save
No.
it. I'll save it. I'll save it for Sunday.
All right, there you go. So thank you very much, everybody. We're gonna be here again before the match versus Brazil. We'll do our preview, sorry, and then after the match we'll do our review, and then Bolivia next week. So thank you, everybody, once more. Big win for Argentina, 3-1, and till the next time. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.